What's up, Focus fans, and welcome to episode 5 of 6 of the 2022 CrossFit Open Cooldown Show. In this episode, I'll be breaking down the leaderboard for the Open Division, the male Open Division here in Arkansas, and bringing an interview from our top guy, Adam Dycus from Rock City CrossFit. Now, when you look at the leaderboard for 2022, there's a lot of parity between last year's Open leaderboard and this year's one. All of the top males in the podium finished on the podium, they just switched some spots. Our guest today, Adam Dycus from Rock City CrossFit, took that top spot, moving up one place from second into first, and on his way to earning that first place, he had 2 second place finishes and a 10th place finish with an average finish of 4.6. Now this goes to prove that you don't have to win every event to win the Open. And coming in second, it was Jacob Clark from Mensch CrossFit, who earned a second place with an average finish of 5th through all the Open workouts. But in particular, he had one event win, which was 22.3. And if you remember what that workout was, it was thrusters, pull-ups, chest to bar, and muscle-ups with some dubs. He had a blazing fast time of 5 minutes and 44 seconds, which placed him in the top 350 in the world for the workout. Now, taking bronze medal is Matt Haney from CrossFit Russellville, who's been one of the top 3 males in the state for at least the past 4 years, and he was the fittest man in Arkansas in 2019. Now, the Open leaderboards don't have hashtags past 2018, or 2019. So if you have any stats on Matt, how he did in the Open in regards to placement inside the state of Arkansas, please drop them in the comments below. I'd love to highlight that and make all the facts as close to on par as possible. Now, rounding out the top 5 are Landon Ryan, the 16-year-old from CrossFit Reverence, and Justin Rowden, who is Adam's training partner, and they work out pretty regularly, and you'll hear during the interview about how he uses his training partners to help him succeed. Now, a name that you should be looking out for in the 2023 Open leaderboard is Kane Thornton from CrossFit Conway, who finished first in Arkansas for 22.1. He finished second for 22.2, but fell down the leaderboard after 22.3. Now, I think if Kane can put together an entire Open that's on par with his first 2 workouts that he had this year, he'll be a name that we see on the podium next year in Arkansas. Now, in the next episode, I'll break down the Master Division, but it's cool to report that Dustin Ponder, who is the 35 to 39-year-old Masters Division champion for the 2nd year in a row, finished just outside the top 10 in the Open Division, placing in 11th place. So he is basically the oldest guy in the Open Division, placing in 11th position. And Kelly Sluter did the same on the female Masters side, and she finished in 9th overall in the standings after you account for 2 athletes that are on the Arkansas leaderboards that are not actively training here in Arkansas. So altogether, best I can tell, 21 men from Arkansas made the cut line and were in the top 7,062 placement in North America. That put them in the top 10% to help reach the quarterfinals. So kudos to all you gentlemen who made the quarterfinals. Now, if you have any interesting stats from the male Open divisions, please drop them in the comments below and let me know who you think is someone to watch for next year's Open. And let's go ahead and turn to our interview with Adam Dycus, who I sat down with for a little while, and I just wanted to know what he was aiming to accomplish in this year's Open, what he thought about the programming, and how one of the workouts really exposed a weakness in his skill set and his opinion. Adam, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking some time to speak with me. Congratulations on winning, being Arkansas's fittest man. Tell me about your goal heading into the Open this year.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing for this state, man. My goal this year, I think, was just to do the best that I could. I know that's kind of a cliche saying, but I knew I had put in all the work in the off season and leading up to the Open and the quarterfinals, and I just really wanted to do the best that I could. And when push comes to shove, when starts, it's you in that workout, and it's all your hard work on display, and I knew I had put in the work, so I was really comfortable with whatever was going to be thrown my way. And so my goal is just to honestly to do the best.
That's awesome, dude. When and thinking about the new year of the open, every one of the cool things about our sport is that it's always going to be constantly varied. And we know that from open to open,
Yeah.
the workout or the tests are going to be different. Something that was different this year is we didn't see any repeat workouts. And we only saw 3 scored
Yeah.
workouts. What did you think about was that experience kind of what you expected, or was it a little different?
Yeah, it was definitely different. I expected to see a repeat workout, and I expected to see maybe a little more strength in the open. But it's just I think the CrossFit season is just changing right in front of our eyes. Last year I liked that strength piece at the end with the gymnastics and then finding that heavy complex. I thought we would see something like that, just to be honest with you, but I thought the 3 tests were good enough to get the top 10% on to the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Speaking of the quarterfinals, you did an amazing job. Those were those tests are
Thank you.
crazy hard. And by all accounts, a lot of people who were
Yeah,
maybe who had just barely made the cut, they didn't finish many of those workouts. So talk to me about what did you think about
yeah,
the difference of intensity from the open into the quarterfinals?
yeah. So I mean, for starters, you're in the open, you do one workout, and then you get the chance to retest that workout within the next 3 or 4 days, and then you have time to relax or time to get some training in, and then you have another workout. The difference between the two, it's just time, really. You have to bottle all these these 5 quarterfinal workouts into weekend, and so that in itself is a challenge. But yeah, I thought overall they were really hard tests. But the programming I follow, I thought it did a really good job of preparing me for that. And it had a short sprint, it had a long domain workout, it had skill. I thought the test of strength was really good. And then just basic CrossFit, I thought they did a really good job of incorporating all sort hitting the pie chart there as far as the quarterfinals go. So I thought they did a really good job with that.
So after looking at your scores, um, there one score that you had that kind of maybe was not your best score was the lifting, was the bench press, the
Yeah,
overhead squat. You
yeah,
finished in the world
right,
576 um, out of all the quarterfinals.
hmm,
So what I saw from your lead
right,
after leaderboarding and watching your stuff is you excelled inside the quarters way more than you did inside the open in and of itself, like just overall placement.
yeah,
So kudos to you for that.
yeah.
So what does that mean for the next year of training as you look at these open scores? Do they bear weight to you on how you might change your course? Or do you say,
Yeah,
hey, I've already come so far in a year that I'm going to stay,
yeah,
on this line that I've been traveling on?
yeah. So I think that's a good question because first of all, I thought the open exposed a major weakness for me because any sort of like high volume hinging, the deadlift workout was my worst open finish that I've had in the last 2 years. And it was paired with the next week. It was my best open finish ever, but it exposed a weakness, and I think that in the long run is going to help me because what am I going to do this off season? I'm gonna hammer that weakness, right? High volume hinging in a workout. So, um, but yeah, I mean, as far as training goes, I did not expect to do as well as I did in the quarterfinals. Just to be honest with you, last year I placed 490th in North America, and this year I think this morning I looked at the leaderboard and I was at 161. So 41 spots away from qualifying for a semifinal. I did not expect to do that well. But I was telling a couple of my friends, the belief that is there now. Like if it was never
Mhm.
there before, it's there now. Like I put in the work, and I feel like I'm one of the fittest in North America, and I feel like I could make that top 120 next year, and so that's going to be 100% the goal. The goal this year was not to make top 120; it was to do better than I did last year. But my goals will change, but the training will not. It will stay the same.
Gotcha. And is there any particular program that do you have any training partners? Is there a program that
Yeah.
you follow? I know you coach at Rock City Complete Fitness.
Hmm. Yeah.
So what does that kind of look like? Like, how do you give yourself the best opportunity to make that 120 next year?
Yeah. So I had a coach when I first started CrossFit, and he helped me out a lot. He was a great coach, and he showed me what it kind of takes to be on that next level. And last year, I decided to move away from that. I decided to do Mayhem, uh, the Mayhem Compete track, and I love it. I love absolutely everything about it. Mayhem to me is, I'm sure there's other programs out there that'll work, but Mayhem to me is what I'm comfortable with. So really, it's just for me this year. It's about putting days together. It's about putting day after day after day, just to string those days together and see where I can go from that. But yeah, my training partners. I mean, it don't matter what you do in life. You got to have people around you that support you and that push you to be your best and that are honest with you. And I feel like I have a tremendous support group at Rock City. Phil and Lori, the owners there, are just amazing people, and I think that's better than anything that I could have ever imagined Rock City being. There, I love the community there. And then my training partners, gotta love those people too. So my family. I mean, you got to have all that connected, and you got to have all that being one. And I have the best, so I'm truly blessed.
That's awesome, brother. What's next? So maybe a little time off, any big comps
Yeah.
coming up? Like, kind of tell me like what's coming up down the road?
So I mean, I like to say I want to take a few days off, but I'm already itching to get back at it. So it's probably smart if I take the next couple of days off, but knowing me, I'll probably get into the gym and do something light. The volume probably won't be a lot for the next month or two. I do have Wad Gods coming up in Shreveport. I'll be hitting that with my buddy, my training partner, Justin Rowden. It's a partner competition down there in Shreveport. So we'll be hitting that in about a month. And then after that, it's just back to training and just kind of trying to find a comp around here or around the area and trying to hit it. So, yeah, I mean, it's just back to training.
Well, dude, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you kind of giving us a little insight on what it
Yeah,
takes.
man. Yeah.
Best of luck at next year, and I'll definitely be following you
Yeah.
on the leaderboard.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
And that is your male open state champion for the 2022 CrossFit Open. And it is kind of cool and kind of humbling to know that when I spoke with Adam, he didn't want to be called a state champion through the Open because he still had quarterfinals to go. And so it wasn't until after the quarterfinals did he feel comfortable me saying that he was our Arkansas state champion. So that guy's pretty humble. Thank you, Adam, for allowing me and to interview and taking the time to speak with me. I know you and Maddie are going to kill it at the Monster Games coming up in Missouri real soon. Now, on the next and the final episode of the Cool Down for this year's Open, I'll be breaking down the Masters leaderboard and bringing an interview with Jill Bowerman, who trains at my home box Wellness Revolution CrossFit here in Little Rock, and she's a two-time state champion for the 45 to 49-year-old division. So, thanks for watching, and until then, I'll see you on the leaderboards.